In a world where time seemed to waltz to its own tune, there lived a young girl named Alice. Her days were filled with the rhythmic beats of curiosity and imagination. One sunny afternoon, as the world hummed with the lazy melody of summer, Alice's heart skipped a beat when she spotted a white rabbit in a waistcoat dashing through the meadow. Driven by a crescendo of curiosity, Alice followed the rabbit as it hopped and twirled, disappearing into a rabbit hole hidden beneath the swaying wildflowers. Without a second thought, Alice leaped into the unknown, her pulse pounding like the drums of an adventurous spirit. As she tumbled through the spiraling tunnel, the echoes of the everyday world gave way to a new symphony. Strange sounds, like the plucking of strings and the fluttering of wings, surrounded her. The walls of the tunnel seemed to vibrate with the pulse of an otherworldly rhythm. Finally, with a soft thud and a tinkling of chimes, Alice landed in a world that danced to its own beat, Wonderland. The air was filled with the melodies of whimsical creatures, and the ground seemed to sway beneath her feet, as if it were a grand ballroom floor. A trio of singing flowers greeted her with harmonious voices, and Alice's laughter joined in, adding a new note to their tune. She felt a sense of exhilaration as the oddity of Wonderland wrapped around her like a syncopated melody, taking her on a rhythm-infused journey she could never have imagined. And so, Alice's adventure had begun, accompanied by the symphony of Wonderland's whimsy. As the rabbit hole's entrance faded from view, the rhythm of her heartbeat intertwined with the cadence of the world she had entered, creating a harmonious blend of curiosity, music, and magic. As Alice's feet found their rhythm in Wonderland's peculiar landscape, she journeyed on, her heart still echoing with the unique rhythm of this world. The path led her to the shores of a glistening pool, its surface shimmering like the delicate notes of a lullaby. But the pool was not formed by rain. It was a pool of tears. Alice watched as her own tears joined the watery ensemble, causing ripples that carried her emotions away like a haunting melody. She felt a strange connection to the pool, sensing the ebb and flow of her feelings in its currents. It was there, by the side of the pool, that she encountered a mouse. With fur as gray as the softer tones of a piano's keys, the mouse shared its own tale of woe, recounting stories of friends and mishaps by the water's edge. Alice listened, her heart connecting with the mouse's mournful melody. As the mouse's stories flowed, Alice's own voice joined in with questions and wonder. But her curiosity, like a lively staccato, clashed with the somber rhythm of the mouse's tales. This juxtaposition of emotions created a musical dialogue, a duet between innocence and experience, as Alice tried to make sense of the stories in her unique Wonderland way. With each tear that fell into the pool, Alice's resolve deepened, and she felt a new rhythm building within her. A rhythm that spoke of empathy and understanding, a counterpoint to the dissonance of Wonderland's absurdity. As the mouse's story concluded, the two shared a moment of quiet reflection, their hearts beating in unison. With a final note of appreciation, Alice bid the mouse farewell, leaving behind the pool of tears. The echo of their meeting lingered in her heart as she continued her journey, the rhythm of empathy and curiosity guiding her steps. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of twilight, Alice carried with her the melody of the pool of tears. It harmonized with the music of Wonderland, enriching her understanding of the world's symphony and setting the stage for the next movement in her extraordinary adventure. Alice's rhythmic journey through Wonderland led her to a clearing where a peculiar assembly was underway. Creatures of all shapes and sizes had gathered for what they called a caucus race. The air was alive with the chatter of animated voices, forming a cacophonous yet oddly melodic backdrop. As Alice watched, the race began without any discernible pattern. The participants moved in a swirling dance of chaos, their laughter and footfalls creating a rhythm uniquely their own. It was as if the race itself was a piece of whimsical music, with each creature contributing a note to the lively composition. In the midst of this organized chaos, Alice met the enigmatic caterpillar. Perched upon a mushroom, the caterpillar exhaled rings of smoke that spiraled upward like haunting melodies. His languid voice carried a slow, deliberate rhythm as he engaged Alice in a cryptic conversation. Amidst the haze of the caterpillar's smoke, Alice's thoughts danced like wisps of melody. The caterpillar's questions about her identity, framed in a tempo of curiosity and contemplation, pushed her to consider her place in Wonderland's ever-shifting tune. As her sighs fluctuated like the crescendos and diminuendos of a musical piece, Alice began to understand that her sense of self was as malleable as the notes that comprised the Wonderland landscape. With the caterpillar's guidance, Alice's awareness swayed like a metronome, finding a new cadence in her journey. She realized that the rhythm of Wonderland was not always in harmony with her preconceived notions, and that by adapting, she could navigate the oddities with grace. Leaving the caterpillar behind, Alice continued her rhythmic exploration. The encounter had left her with a newfound determination to march to her own beat, even in the midst of Wonderland's whimsy. She embraced the ever-changing tempo, her steps becoming more confident as she moved forward. And so, with the echoes of the caucus race fading into the distance, and the memory of the caterpillar's wisdom resonating in her heart, Alice embraced the rhythms of her own journey. With each step, she continued to compose her unique melody, harmonizing with Wonderland's enchanting symphony. Alice's rhythmic adventure in Wonderland took a whimsical turn as she stumbled upon a scene that could only be described as a tea party like no other. The Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and the Dormouse were gathered around a table set with an array of mismatched cups, saucers, and plates. Their laughter and conversations formed a disjointed but strangely captivating melody. As Alice approached, the Mad Hatter greeted her with a grin that seemed to stretch like a playful arpeggio. The hare's manic energy and the Dormouse's drowsy mumblings added layers to the unusual composition of the gathering. Alice joined the tea party, expecting the rhythm of polite conversation. But what she encountered was a symphony of absurdity. Time, like a broken metronome, had no meaning at the tea party. The Hatter's riddles and the hare's nonsensical remarks created a dissonant yet strangely enchanting rhythm. The conversation swirled in chaotic circles, like a melody that refused to resolve. Alice found herself struggling to find her own voice amidst the cacophony. The Hatter's eccentricity and the hare's constant movement created a sense of urgency, as if the tempo of the party was dictated by their whims. Yet, amidst the chaos, Alice detected a hidden message, a rhythm of rebellion against the mundane. As the tea party continued, Alice's initial confusion gave way to a realization that that this gathering was a celebration of the unpredictable. She began to see the beauty in the Mad Hatter's unpredictable melody, a composition that defied convention and embraced the unexpected. This realization stirred something within her, a desire to embrace her own uniqueness and disrupt the familiar cadence of her former life. When Alice finally left the tea party, she carried with her a new perspective. The memory of the Mad Hatter's laughter and the March Hare's frenzied movements became a part of her own rhythm. As she walked away, she felt the melody of her own journey becoming richer, more complex, and wonderfully offbeat. And so, with the memory of the Mad Hatter's tea party as a melodic backdrop, Alice continued her adventure through Wonderland. Her steps were now infused with the rhythm of the unexpected, and her heart danced to the tune of her own curiosity, harmonizing beautifully with the ever-changing symphony of Wonderland. Alice's rhythmic journey through Wonderland led her to a place of both wonder and apprehension, the Queen's croquet ground. Here, the very act of playing croquet was transformed into a spectacle that matched the eccentric rhythms of Wonderland itself. The Queen of Hearts, with her booming commands and regal presence, dominated the scene like a powerful crescendo. The croquet game that unfolded was unlike any Alice had ever seen, with flamingos serving as mallets and hedgehogs as balls, creating a peculiar percussive rhythm as they were struck and rolled across the ground. The Queen's enthusiastic shouts of "off with their heads" added a sharp staccato to the air, creating a tension that resonated like the beat of a drum. Alice watched as the game progressed with a mix of fascination and apprehension, her heart pounding in sync with the chaotic rhythm of the game. Amidst the absurdity, Alice encountered the Cheshire Cat once again. Its enigmatic grin and cryptic words added an eerie harmony to the scene, a reminder that Wonderland's rhythm was as unpredictable as the melodies in a dream. The cat's presence was a reminder that even in the face of the Queen's tyranny, there was a hidden counterpoint to the chaos. As Alice navigated the Queen's croquet ground, she discovered that the inhabitants of Wonderland possessed their own unique rhythms. The quirky courtiers, the nervous animals, and even the Queen herself each contributed to the multifaceted melody of the place. It was a reminder that even in a world ruled by irrationality, there was beauty in the diversity of voices and experiences. As the croquet game reached its climax, and Alice narrowly escaped the Queen's wrath, she carried with her a sense of urgency and a newfound understanding of the delicate balance that existed in Wonderland. The experience had added a new layer to her rhythm, a harmony of resilience and curiosity that would guide her through the next movements of her journey. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the croquet ground, Alice left behind the Queen's domain. The echoes of the Queen's commands and the sounds of croquet mallets faded into the distance, but their impact on Alice's rhythm remained, reminding her that even in the most discordant moments, there was always a melody waiting to be discovered. Alice's rhythmic odyssey through Wonderland carried her to the heart of the Queen's domain once more. The grand courtroom, where justice was anything but harmonious. Here, the air was charged with a tension that vibrated like the strings of an instrument pulled taut, and the proceedings had a rhythm of their own, a symphony of absurdity and contradiction. Alice found herself amidst the trial of the Knave of Hearts, accused of stealing the Queen's tarts. trial itself was a chaotic blend of illogical arguments and contradictory testimonies, each note adding to the dissonance of Wonderland's law. As Alice observed, the Queen's commanding presence conducted the courtroom like a conductor orchestrating a frenzied piece of music. With a mixture of astonishment and frustration, Alice watched as the witnesses testified in a tempo of their own, seemingly out of tune with reality. The rhythmic clash of absurd accusations and counter-accusations painted a picture of Wonderland's nonsensical legal system. It was a composition where justice was determined not by evidence, but by the whims of the Queen's volatile emotions. As the trial spiraled into chaos, Alice's own frustration became a counter-melody, a rhythm of disbelief that harmonized with the discordant proceedings. She questioned the irrationality of the trial, her voice a dissenting note amidst the irrational symphony. In her eyes, the knave's plight reflected the absurdity of Wonderland's rules, a rhythm that defied logic and reason. As the trial reached its tumultuous climax, with the Queen's shouts of "off with their heads" piercing the air, Alice found herself unable to remain a passive observer. Her crescendo of frustration gave way to a fortissimo of determination. With a courage that rang like a triumphant chord, she challenged the Queen's irrational verdict. In that pivotal moment, Alice's voice became a melody of defiance, a counterpoint to the oppressive rhythm of the Queen's rule. Her actions disrupted the rhythm of the trial, introducing a new tempo of justice and reason. And as the Queen's commands wavered, Alice's bravery shone like a bright note, reminding Wonderland that even amidst the chaos, a harmonious chord of truth and integrity could be struck. And so, as Alice left the courtroom, the echoes of her actions lingered like a lingering refrain. The memory of the trial, with its discordant rhythm and Alice's courageous intervention, would forever remain a testament to her unwavering spirit and her determination to harmonize the discord of Wonderland, one note at a time. Alice's journey through Wonderland had been a symphony of curiosity, whimsy, and defiance. Yet, her rhythm had not yet reached its final crescendo. As her steps carried her further, she encountered a shimmering mirror that seemed to beckon her with an enticing melody. Without hesitation, Alice stepped through the looking glass, leaving behind the Wonderland she had come to know. On the other side, a new world unfolded, one that mirrored her own reality, but with a twist. Everything seemed reversed, like a haunting melody played in a minor key. Alice's reflection stared back at her, each movement perfectly synchronized yet eerily opposite. The landscape, a visual duet of familiarity and distortion, seemed to move to its own rhythm, as if challenging Alice to find her place in this strange new composition. As she navigated this reversed realm, Alice encountered an array of characters, each with their own unique melodies. Talking flowers whispered cryptic tunes, and chess pieces danced in strategic patterns. Each interaction added a layer to the rhythm of the looking glass world, an intricate composition that mirrored her journey through Wonderland. Amidst the inversion, Alice realized that the looking glass world was a reflection of her own growth. Like a variation on a familiar theme, this world pushed her to see herself from a different perspective. Her encounters became echoes of her experiences, with conversations that played like a countermelody to her memories. As Alice's reflection journeyed with her, their rhythms began to harmonize, the looking glass world became a place of introspection, a melody of self-discovery. Alice learned that just as a mirror's image can be reversed, so too can her own perceptions, allowing her to see the world and herself in new and unexpected ways. And so, with the resonance of the looking glass's melody guiding her, Alice's steps led her closer to the 8th square, the final movement of her journey. The reflection in the mirror had become a mirror of her own growth, and the rhythm of her adventure had transformed into a symphony of self-understanding. As she moved forward, she carried with her the harmonious blend of her Wonderland experiences and the revelations of the looking glass world, poised for the final chords that would complete her rhythmic tale. Alice's journey through Wonderland and the looking glass had been a symphony of curiosity, whimsy, and self-discovery. As she approached the 8th square, she encountered the White Queen, a figure of elegance and grace, yet shrouded in mystery. The Queen's presence carried an air of serenity, a melody of tranquility that contrasted with the frenetic rhythms Alice had encountered thus far. Amidst the beauty of the 8th square, the White Queen engaged Alice in a series of riddles and paradoxes. Her words flowed like a gentle river, carrying with them a rhythm of contemplation and introspection. Each riddle challenged Alice's perceptions, urging her to think beyond the surface and embrace the complexities of Wonderland. As Alice attempted to unravel the Queen's enigmatic words, her thoughts became a harmonious blend of curiosity and deep introspection. The riddles were like intricate melodies that required her full attention, urging her to navigate the intricate cadences of the Queen's wisdom. The White Queen's presence seemed to embody a melody of timelessness, her ethereal demeanor a soothing counterpoint to Wonderland's chaos. Through their conversations, Alice's perspective shifted like the harmonies of a haunting melody. She began to see the world in a new light, a tapestry woven with riddles and revelations. With each riddle, Alice's understanding deepened, and her connection with the White Queen grew stronger. Their dialogues were a rhythmic dance of question and answer, a duet of wisdom and wonder. As she absorbed the Queen's teachings, Alice realized that her journey was not just about navigating the oddities of Wonderland, but about discovering the melodies within herself. As the sun set on the 8th square, casting a warm glow over the landscape, Alice left behind the White Queen's riddles. Their impact lingered in her heart like a haunting refrain, guiding her toward the final movement of her adventure. With the harmonious blend of Wonderland's whimsy, the reflections of the looking glass world, and the wisdom of the White Queen's riddles, Alice was prepared for the grand finale of her rhythmic tale, a crescendo of self-discovery that awaited her as she ventured towards the conclusion of her remarkable journey. Alice's rhythmic journey through Wonderland and the looking glass had brought her to the precipice of her adventure's climax. As her steps led her closer to the grand finale, she felt a mixture of anticipation and trepidation, like the rising crescendo of a musical masterpiece. In a realm where reality and imagination intertwined, Alice's path converged with that of the Red Queen, a figure of power and authority. As the two faced each other, their interactions were punctuated by a tense rhythm, like the clash of opposing forces in a symphony. The Red Queen's imperious demands and the swirling chaos of Wonderland's denizens created a backdrop of discord, a cacophony of conflicting notes. As Alice navigated this final movement of her adventure, she couldn't help but feel the weight of the contrasting rhythms, her own curiosity, and the Queen's tyranny. With each step, Alice's determination grew like the beat of a persistent drum. The Red Queen's commands to "off with their heads" served as a haunting counterpoint to Alice's belief in justice and fairness. Her encounters with the inhabitants of Wonderland became a harmonious blend of empathy and defiance, a testament to her journey's lessons. Amidst the turmoil, the Cheshire Cat reappeared, its enigmatic grin and cryptic guidance echoing in the air like a recurring motif. Its presence reminded Alice that even in the face of chaos, there were hidden patterns waiting to be discovered. The cat's words were a reminder that the rhythm of Wonderland was not solely dictated by its absurdities, but by the choices of those who dared to challenge its discord. As Alice and the Red Queen engaged in a verbal duel, their words clashed like the crescendo of opposing musical themes. But in Alice's voice, there was a harmony of conviction and self-assuredness, a melody of wisdom gained from her journey. As the Red Queen's power wavered, Alice's crescendo of courage and resilience reached its peak. With a final note of triumph, Alice's actions spoke louder than any words. She revealed the absurdity of the Queen's rule and unveiled the illogical symphony of Wonderland's authority. In that moment, the crescendo of the Red Queen's reign reached its climax, and the rhythm of justice emerged victorious. As the Queen's tyranny crumbled, the chaotic discord of Wonderland gradually transformed into a harmonious resolution. The realm's inhabitants, once governed by irrationality, began to dance to a different rhythm, one of unity and understanding. And so, as the sun set on Wonderland, casting a warm and golden glow, Alice emerged from her adventure transformed. The melodies of her journey, the rhythms of her encounters, and the harmonies of her growth all converged into a triumphant finale. With a heart full of lessons learned and melodies cherished, Alice walked away, her rhythmic tale now woven into the fabric of Wonderland's enchanting symphony. As the final echoes of Wonderland's symphony faded away, Alice found herself in a familiar world once again, her own reality. She lay in a meadow, bathed in the soft glow of dawn, with the distant notes of birdsong serenading the morning. With a mixture of nostalgia and wonder, Alice reflected on her extraordinary journey. The rhythms of Wonderland had left an indelible mark on her heart, a melody that resonated with curiosity, growth, and self-discovery. She felt a sense of gratitude for the lessons learned and the experiences shared with the whimsical characters she had encountered. As Alice's senses reacquainted themselves with the mundane world around her, she realized that her adventure had been a dream, a harmonious blend of imagination and introspection. Yet, the melodies of Wonderland had left an imprint on her waking life, reminding her to embrace the unexpected, to challenge conventions, and to approach life with an open heart and mind. The lessons of Wonderland's symphony stayed with Alice as she rose from the meadow and ventured back into her everyday world. The memories of her rhythmic odyssey continued to play in her mind like a cherished melody, guiding her steps and shaping her perspective. And so, as Alice's story concluded, her rhythmic journey remained a timeless melody in her heart, a melody that would forever harmonize with the rhythm of her life, reminding her that even in the ordinary, there was always the potential for extraordinary adventures and the music of self-discovery.